Hey y'all. Let's see here. What is that? Post this up here. Check out this shirt though. The Queen Liana. So it took a minute for it to get here, but I'm so grateful that it is here. Hi, Christy. I really appreciate your support. I really do. Hi, Kiola. So happy to have you here too. Christy, meet Kiola. Kiola, this is Christy of I Am Chic, and she's a stylist, but it's almost like that doesn't even say enough about her, because the things that she does to give back to the community and how she's able to help people transform from the inside out and discover their style and all that kind of stuff is just amazing. So Black excellence, meet Black excellence. And one of the things, Christy, that attracted me to Kiola is she does these lives. Kiola, is that your sister? I think it's your sister or your relative that you do the lives with. And I think I had started following a particular hashtag. Hi, Carolyn. And then Kiola came up under that hashtag, and her content was so great. Thank you, Christy, for that compliment, because you appreciate great content. You would appreciate Kiola too. And so then I caught one of her lives, and I'm telling you. And so the thing is, hi, SSO Ocean Sister. So happy to have you here. The thing is, the stuff that she was talking about as it related to mindful eating and intuitive eating, I had not seen people, as one of my friends says, who look like this talking about it. Now, I follow the food freedom hashtag and the food freedom forever hashtag, mindful eating, intuitive eating, all those kinds of things. But I don't see a lot of sisters out there talking about it, folks that I can relate to. But that's what Kiola is doing, and it's super unique, and you're going to find out why in just a little bit. If this is your first time being on one of these Wise Well Women lives, let me introduce myself officially. So my name is Queen. My friends call me Q, so you can call me Q if you'd like. And this is Wisdom for Well-Beings. The whole point of this page, the whole point is to encourage grown women. Hi, Better Fasting. To encourage grown women, because there's a difference between being an adult and being grown. Some of you all have some adults in your family. Some of you have dated some adult males, but those people weren't grown. So this is a go-to spot. Okay, Better Fasting said hello. Or are you just saying hello? Because hello, we can take anything and run with it. But thing is, this is a spot for grown women coming here to seek out, how can I apply wisdom to my well-being? And when I'm talking about wisdom, I'm talking about spirit-inspired insight, sound judgment, and clarity. Then taking that and applying it to the information that you're receiving about wellness. Because I guarantee you, and I haven't heard her whole story, but she's here, our guest tonight, Kiola. I guarantee you that she's probably going to share with us a moment where something came alive in her. There was some, as Oprah used to call it back in the day, some light bulb moment, some aha, some point where Holy Spirit spoke to her and said, this is the way. Do it this way, because the information was already there, right? Some of that stuff is not new. Hi, Papa Bowl. But what makes it so special and important and so powerful is that it was inspired by something stronger and beyond yourself. And then she's taking that and sharing it with us. One of the first things to go when there is chaos, whether that is within or without, and we got it on all sides right now. One of the first things to go, so happy to have y'all here tonight, is nutrition. People were even joking about it at the beginning of the quarantine, right? People were talking about COVID-15, and there were all these memes, all this basically for real fat phobic type stuff, right? Then people jump to the other side. Now I got to go hard in the gym, even though we can really go, but going hard with the workouts, going hard now that the gyms are open, getting into these restrictive diets, all the, I don't remember seeing these many things about teas and NutriBurst come up on my timeline from before quarantine. Is it just me, or did the tea just take over? Will we look back and say, wow, that was tea time for real? But y'all, we need stuff to be simple right now, including our nutrition. And that is what Kiola is going to talk with us about. I see some hearts for that. And since she can't hear our applause, would you send hearts through the screen, scroll them across, type them in, let them flip up, and please welcome Kiola Raines.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Is my sound good? Can you hear me? I just want to make sure.
Yes, you sound great. You look beautiful. These eyebrows are just perfection. The hair, luxurious edges, everything.
Thank you. Big forehead, team big forehead, team 5 head.
Here we go.
That's the way. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm trying to do things that are simple. So we're at I'm 22 weeks pregnant. So I need whatever is the easiest, lowest maintenance options. That's what I'm going for.
Wow. Well, congratulations to you and your family, by the way.
Thank you.
I saw the meme that you guys did, you and some of the ladies in your family did to Chloe and Haley's.
Oh, yeah.
This is how we do it. It was so cute,
Yes.
y'all. And it starts off with her, and then she like turns to the side, and you see the belly, and then she like shimmies off, and then they do the dance. It was really cute.
My sister Karma, who you saw me do my live with, so we do something on Wednesdays called When It Rains, because our last name is Rains. And that's probably the one that you saw. She's a choreographer, so anytime we get together, she's like, let's make up a dance or whatever the new challenge is. She makes us do it, so we participate with her in that. So yeah, it's fun.
For you guys who are just coming in, this is Kiola Raines. I want you to check her out at Kiola Raines. You see it down here. And one of the things that she does is share simple, realistic nutrition, because some of the stuff that we're doing, y'all, Jerk Mother, Jasmine, nice to have you here. Keisha, nice to have you here. It's overcomplicated. It's just too much counting, and then you need these apps, and is this okay? Is that okay? You can just get lost in this rabbit trail on YouTube, or maybe I'm just speaking to myself, talking about myself, trying to figure all of this stuff out. So that's what I really appreciate about what you're doing. And even before we get into that, Kiola, I want to tell you, I was really blessed by your stories last night. So yeah, you guys went on vacation. Could you just tell us about that?
Virtual vacation. So it started with one of my youngest sister, her best friend from college, who's like part of our family now. She's down here visiting, and she is Salvadorian, and she was making pupusas fresh, just like from scratch. And I said, let's put on some music to go with this vibe. Let's put some cultural music on. And then we were like, you know what? Let's just pretend we're not here anymore. Like, we have these handmade pupusas going by a Salvadoreña. We have some music going. I said, let's just not listen to any American music. Let's listen to only music from outside the country. Like, where do you guys want to go? So we're like, let's go to Africa. So we put on an African record. Let's go to Belize. So we put on Belizean music. Let's go to Jamaica. And we were just, we didn't do anything. We tried to pretend in all ways that we were not in LA. So surrounded ourselves with different kind of food. After we had our dinner, we went over and grabbed some paletas from the Mexican pastry market across the street. So like, we were just in the zone. We're like, we're not in America. Let's just get away from everything that's here. So it was mentally just a little break, trying to stay off the gram. Like, I shared some stories, but I did not scroll yesterday. I was not looking I just had to take a mental break. And, as much as My sisters and I have really been making an effort to spend our dollars in the Black community and wearing all Black in solidarity and sharing on a regular basis, sharing a Black story. So instead of sharing just history, which can sometimes be draining and negative, we were like, let's share present day things. So on my page, if you go to it right now, there's all Black excellence. And we're only halfway through the month. So I have chefs on there. I have a florist on there. I have a clothing designer on there. A professional organizer, just to show like we have stories right now. You know, our history in this country can be depressing and daunting. Not that we haven't done amazing things, but it seems like when we do amazing things, something comes on to shut that down. So let's talk about what we're doing right now. And so we've been doing Our Stories Matter. And just showing that there's so many amazing things that are happening that we're currently doing, that Black people are currently doing. And even in doing that, as rewarding as it still gets exhausting, because it's like we're going out of our way to do all these things that really, it would be nice if they just were how we could be without putting effort. Like if it was just the way things always were. So yesterday we were like, let's take a break. Not take a break from, you know, our Blackness and our Black pride, but just take a break, like pretend we're not even in America for 8 hours. Let's just take a, you know, because right now traveling is not really in the cards for everyone. A lot of countries aren't even letting us in. So we were like, what can we do to virtually do that? So turn off all your American music and put on some music from Jamaica, put on music from Africa, put on some Belizean music, some Latin music, whatever, anything that's not American, put on some French music, whatever you want. Eat some other culture's food, and just turn the TV off and pretend that you are somewhere else.
Somewhere else. I know. Someone said as you were talking, I love that. Me too. When I saw her thing, hi, Sadon Long. Thank you for being here tonight. Hi, Mama Tracy. And there's so many heartbursts going up. I had not thought of that. Now, one thing I had been doing is disconnecting myself from the news, because my main thing is to read the news. When I get the news, to read it, not watch the videos. And that takes so much effort, because as soon as you log in, the videos start playing. You don't get a choice. Right. You got to rush to turn it down, rush to mute it, because it's ready to blast you right there. And like you said, highlighting the history is a great thing. Phenomenal Quiche is on here. She's been doing that with her page too, similar to you. But it can be exhausting even to do that. And so you guys just put it on some music. And y'all, they were not just simply using their phone to take this musical journey. They were playing records.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Same here. I hear you, Andrea. Same here. Like, find a way of escape. Yeah. Because to consume that way, it will weigh you down. And speaking of that, I know that stress and anxiety has an impact on your wellness, period. Yeah. Can you speak to that about how we're affected just simply by stress on how we're eating and what our bodies do?
So I have Dr. Philippe Douillon, who I'll leave his info here. It's at philippe.md, but he's a neurologist, a Black neurologist. And I've had him on several times, and he talks about how stress is a major impact to your health. It has a huge effect on your health. And when we think of stress, a lot of times we think of like the day-to-day, something bothering you, but it's so much deeper than that. This is long-term, your state, your mental state, your mind state, how you handle, let's say somebody cuts in front of you in line, or how you drive, or how you interact with people. All of those things are affecting your stress level. And it's not just like in that moment, it is affecting you and your hormones over a period of time. So if you're not getting enough sleep, then you're not recovering from your stressful day. If you choose to react to things a certain way, then you're increasing your stress level. It's one of the things you said. If you are not mindful about coming on social media and knowing that when you see, this is what I do. When I see that someone has posted a video, I just scroll past it, and I don't let it start playing, And you
Yes.
know, it's unfortunate, but that's what you have to just scroll past it. Don't let it start playing. If it's in someone's story, same thing. I just scroll past. I personally do not share videos of brutality. I think some people think that we need to see it because that way then, you know, it will wake us up. But I don't need to see it. I know it's happening, so I don't need to see it.
Right.
And it's exactly what you said. If it catches you, then it's in your mind. And what he said was, when you have too high of a stress level, and this is from a neurologist, when your stress level is too high, you stop yourself from making new memories. So if you keep trauma and you keep feeding that trauma with more negativity on the post, more videos, like you said, you can read and know this happened, but then when you go back and watch the video and see, like, wow, he really, you know, you're putting a picture in here, and it's taking away the ability of your brain to make a new memory. So it's really important to understand that when your stress level is high, if that's from watching too many negative things on social media, having a high stress job, being in an unhealthy relationship, commuting, all of these things that sometimes Black people have just a part of their life because they live in a city and their job is here and they have to drive, or they're trying to climb the corporate ladder because, you know, Karen got the position that they should have gotten even though you have a higher education. Those things are stressing you out. Maybe you're a single parent. All these different things, the more you the less mindful you are about managing those, the less positive memories you're going to be able to make. So just
Wow.
imagine, like, you want to live positively, but you have so much trauma and stress that your brain can't even hold on to positive memories. So we have to be, for
Wow.
Black people, we have to be extremely intentional. And that's why you got to take a virtual vacation sometimes.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you said you can't even make new
New
good
mem-
memories.
New memories.
Wow.
This is from
That's
Dr.
amazing.
Philippe Douillon. He's a neurologist. He's amazing, and he actually has a whole IGTV he did about how racism builds trauma inside of us. So and when
And
you're at that
carries
state,
on too
say that
for
again.
generations. You know,
Oh
there's a
yeah,
lot of studies coming out and being revealed now about generational trauma. If you're just coming in, welcome. I see Benny and the chefs is here. Benny, I'm so happy that you're here. This is good information for you. Benny is one of my former students. I love that this page has so many different generations represented. Benny is also the winner of, not last season, not the year before, but 2018, I think it was, MasterChef Junior. She won.
oh wow,
That is so proud of her. She has just a really bright future ahead of her, and her parents are teaching her to be anti-racist, and I'm very proud of her. And she's someone who advocates and steps up and speaks out and all that good stuff. So happy for you to be here. Happy for all of you guys to be here, because this what you just said, that stress prevents you from making new memories.
making new memories.
Oh my goodness. And the other thing I thought about, you know, we're seeing these studies that talk about generational trauma.
Mm-hmm.
It's like protecting yourself, because what you don't want to do is carry that into, you have your babies carry that. Like right now, if you didn't catch us at the beginning, Kiola
Yeah,
shared that she's 22 weeks pregnant right now.
yeah. It's a
So
wild time to be pregnant. And like, I have to be so mindful what I want to be doing right now versus what I have to do for the health of my pregnancy are extreme opposites. I want to be in the streets and I want to be um, just doing the actual footwork and being out there, but I can't do that. I want to stay informed and I want to know, but I can only do a little bit because I cannot go to sleep at night sad.
come on.
I can't wake up angry. I can't do that because then I'm doing exactly what I'm just repeating it. So, and those things, you mentioned this in the beginning, when all of this stuff is happening, the first thing that goes is your health and wellness. It's so much easier to stress eat. It's so much easier to say, man, I'm tired. This is like exhausting me. I'm gonna have a piece of cake, you know, and I'm gonna have some cookies and I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna have too much comfort food. But like, we need to be comforted right now, but we have to be mindful about how we're doing that. And that's, you know, the best thing we can do for ourselves is to be sober minded, not using wine for self-care right now, and to be at our healthiest.
Somebody needed that.
Our health, no, seriously, to be right now. I'm not saying you can't ever drink again, but right now, like right in this moment, in this time while this movement is happening, the best thing you can do for yourself and for the movement is to be the healthiest you could possibly be, mentally and physically and emotionally. So if you can commit to 90 days of the cleanest eating that you can, just to give the energy to this movement, you're going to actually be empowering it energetically just by being like you said, a wise, well person. So yeah, we have to get back to, with a pun, I guess, our roots. We have to get back to our roots when it comes to food. We have to get back to eating real food and taking care of our mind and taking care of our bodies. That's the only way we're going to be able to impact, whether you're the person that's out marching, or you're the person that's calling every hotline, or you're the person that's donating money, praying for everybody. Whatever it is, you need to be 100% mentally, physically there. And that's, food covers all of those things.
That is huge. It's so interesting. Our guest last night made this statement, and it's so in line with what you're saying right now. She said, wellness is a revolution. And it just makes me think about how, like you said, if you're marching, if you are writing, if you're giving money, all of those things take clarity.
Right.
They take energy. They take stamina to be able to do. And the choices that we make with our nutrition can support that. Now, is this something that you kind of always have been on? Have you mentioned your sister was a choreographer, so I'm guessing that she probably also lives a pretty fit lifestyle. Were you guys born and raised with this whole idea of taking care of yourself and your body and stuff?
Funny. So, so my dad's a football coach. And my mom was the queen of aerobics. So we grew up, my parents must have read, what is it called? I think it was called Back to Nature or something in like the late 80s. So we grew up eating turkey bacon and, you know, no red meat. We grew up no soda allowed in the house, no, you know, very little Kool-Aid. They were always working out. My parents have always been active. So we were raised with that in our household. But beyond that, I got into the health and wellness field out of fear of being fat. So I was like the chubby kid, and I started dieting when I was 10 years old. It's slim fast. My grandmother used to say, like, you have your grandmother's hips. People don't realize when you say that to a child, they see you as their grandmother and you're bigger than them. And so if you say you got your grandmother's hips to a 10-year-old, they're thinking like, oh my God, I look like you. Like, that's not good. So, and then, you know, parents, it's not, my grandmother wasn't saying that to hurt me. She was saying that as out of endearment and like, wow, you're my, you know, you have my same shape. But what I heard at 10 years old was, I look like you. And I was like, that's not good. So internalize that kind of stuff. And just not knowing and not being around other people that looked like me. I was raised in a small town, predominantly white town. So just always trying to be like, I need to lose weight. I need to get smaller. So I'll go to college and I'll major in kinesiology and I'll learn all the nutrition. And in that way, you know, I'll have all the answers. You mentioned earlier, like that aha moment that makes you flip over and switch. And for me, it was after I graduated with my bachelor's, when I was in graduate school and training for what I thought I wanted to do, which was bikini competition. And I went from 175 and 25% body fat down to like 155, 13% body fat. I was skinny. I was as small as I'd ever been. And I was like, yes, this is it. I'm going to go into the gym. My coach is going to tell me like, now I'm ready. And when he said like, you're doing great. Now we just need you to lose 10 more pounds. And that was the moment I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like 10 more pounds? Like how am I going to do that? And so this isn't good enough. Like me dropping over 25 pounds and it was all pure
13%.
13%. That's low for a woman. So I like at that moment, that was when I was like, okay, so this wasn't even what it was that I wanted. And being skinny is it's not my happiness. That's not what's going to make me happy. And I just started looking for other ways and other options. And in grad school, I majored in exercise psychology. So I started learning a lot more about the mindset behind sticking to routines, behind adhering to routines, behind building community around it. And that's when things started to shift for me, was after I started understanding that it's not even a shape. It's not going to make you happy. You might think it is, but that's not what's going to actually bring you the joy. The joy is going to come from being satisfied with what you're eating, being happy with your nutrition plan, being able to socialize and enjoy food. That's what's going to make you happy. So for me, we started from childhood in a healthy and well family, but I ended up in this career out of fear of being fat, and then it changed over when I got super thin and was like, I'm still happy. So yeah, it was definitely an evolution or a transition.
It's interesting because you go through that experience and then you discover there's bondage on the other side too. One of the first books that I read about fitness and nutrition was this book called Body Confidence by Mark McDonald. And Mark McDonald is a former bodybuilder and fitness model. And he used to be obese. I don't know if you have heard that book, but it is so good. I've got the physical copy. I have it on Audible. I have it on Kindle. I've been reading this book for years now. CMF Wellness, I know you're familiar with the book too. And so in the book, he talks about how when he was trying to lose weight, he, like you said, he didn't socialize around food. So when his friends were having pizza and beer, he wanted pizza and beer too, but he didn't eat it because he's you know, he's the fat guy. I got to lose weight. So then he loses weight. He gets ripped, right? He's on the cover of, you know, those magazines, fit, whatever they're called, muscle, whatever magazines. You've seen them.
My professor used to call it muscle and ignorance. It's called Muscle and Fitness, but one of my favorite.
That's what it's called.
Muscle and Ignorance.
So now, guys, he's on the cover of Muscle and Fitness. He has his dream body. He's living in this body. And he said, I was just as consumed about thinking about food as when I was obese. It still was like, so when he did eat something, it was like, okay, I hope I don't gain weight. Or if he didn't work out, he would be so hard on himself, like, oh my God, am I falling off? That's bondage too. So what I love about what you talk about, for those of you who are just coming in, this is Kiola Raines. She is a nutrition coach. She teaches about fitness as well. She's a celebrator of people. That's one of the things I just admire about you. But she teaches her clients simple, realistic nutrition. Because I'm telling you, and I've been on both sides. I have been 246 pounds, a size 22, and I have been 144 pounds at my leanest, a size 4.
Right.
I'm like a 12, 14 now. But I'm telling you, I thought when I saw a certain number on the scale, or I could put on, like you said, fit a certain thing, I thought that was it. That's it. Could, if not done right, could just be a new bondage if you don't get free in it. You know?
100%.
And so it's interesting because even though you grew up like that, a lot of us did not grow up like that. We saw our mothers dieting or talking about their bodies or things like that. And the idea, because when I have shared with people about you coming on and the things we're going to talk about, the whole idea is kind of scary to some people. Like, wait, you mean like, I don't know if I can trust myself if I can just eat anything. So could you talk about like what this means? Like, does this, like, what does,
simple and realistic. So when I tell people there's no bad food, and when I just told one of my friends today, one of my mottos when it comes to realistic nutrition is dessert every day is the only way. Dessert every day is the only way you're going to enjoy, and doesn't mean you have to eat it, but you have to be allowed to have dessert every day. It's the only way. What does that mean? It means that I teach people how food works in the body so that they can make healthier choices. Dessert every day doesn't have to mean 15 cookies. It doesn't have to mean a whole roll of Oreos. It doesn't mean that you eat half of the pie. Dessert every day can mean that you make a cake and you have a slice, like one serving size, or you make cookies, a dozen cookies, and you have 2 cookies a day. That's what that means. It doesn't mean that you go off the chain and you eat, a whole pie to yourself, or you eat, 7 or 8 cookies to yourself, or you eat the whole Haagen-Dazs container. It means when you get it, you see what the serving size is for it, you serve yourself a serving size, you reach satisfaction, you enjoy it, you move on. So when people say that they can't trust themselves, we have to build it like any other relationship, right? So when you go on the first date with somebody, you're not like, I trust you, we're in, let's get married. No, you get to know them, you build up the relationship, you slowly let them in, you date, you talk, you don't just hop right in bed and like, all right, it's on, let's do it. So knowing that I'm allowing people to do that, that gives them the freedom to say, okay, she didn't tell me no cookies, no alcohol, no carbs, no pasta. No, I said, we don't take anything away. We add. We keep adding food. So it is customizable to you. Most of my clients come in calling themselves sugar addicts, right? For example, I have a person that started in January that was eating 300 grams of carbs a day. Just to give you an idea, a typical intake is around 150 grams of carbs. So they're eating double what the average person.
And probably didn't know, I'm guessing.
And no, the only reason she knew that was after the first week, I have you log your food, and I look back and I'm showing her, now you can see what this means. This is what this looks like. This is what you're taking in, and this is what would be a healthy option for you to take in. So we want to start cutting back there little by little. Why is it realistic? Because I don't take anything from you. People want to download a meal plan. They want to do it for 30 days, look like they want to look, and then think that's going to stick. I did it for 30 days. I didn't have any sugar. I didn't have any of that. But did you enjoy it? No. And that's why 60 days later, you're back to where you were. So simple and realistic is I'm giving you tools. I'm giving you options. I'm making it customizable for you. And we're doing what's going to work for you. I have no 2 people following the exact same plan. No one. Out of hundreds of people, there's no 2 people that have the exact same plan, because different body types, different ages, different goals, different activity levels. So it's never going to be the same thing for 2 people, but you have to build the trust up with yourself, and then you'll have long-term results. But I understand why someone would say, I can't trust myself. That's why you got into the position that you're in, because you weren't listening to yourself. You weren't allowing your intuition to tell you to eat. You were listening to what your head was telling you what to eat. Your intuition is down here in your gut. Your head is like, give me this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Your emotions are telling you those things. But when you slow down and you look, am I actually hungry? Do I really want a cookie? Or am I just thirsty? Do I really want another glass of wine? Or do I need to go for a walk? Do I really want this? So we slow things down and make it realistic. I don't do juice cleanses. Don't do day smoothie cleanses. I don't teach crash diets. I only teach real nutrition. I try to take what I know from a science perspective and make it easy to digest. Pun intended, easy to digest. So yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, the crash diets have been a craze almost over quarantine. And I was trying to think to myself, was this like this before, or am I just seeing it more now because I, am on Instagram more? But is it just me, or is you see NutriBurst? And this is nothing against people who, if
Right.
you want to do NutriBurst, if you want to do the tea, then you go ahead on and you do that. If that is something that
Right.
you want to commit your life to. Um, but it seems like that stuff is just so prevalent. And I'm curious to hear from you, like, why do you think we're like so attracted to those things? Because we are smart women. Like on some level, we
Hmm.
have to know that you can't just drink tea or you can't just
Right.
never eat carbs. I see hard, so y'all know what I'm saying, okay?
Yes.
So why do we want to keep doing it? Like we know we've heard that it doesn't work. We know I know people who are
Right.
juicing right now for the whole rest of June, juicing for June. I'm like, so you just not go eat solid food?
Yeah. Why the why is because this is America and we want a quick fix. People do
Mhm.
not want to actually have to work for anything. They want to see the picture and they want that right now. Which we were talking about stress earlier, that actually just increases your stress level because now you're comparing
Oh,
yourself to something you saw and you are wanting to achieve that, not even considering how long it actually took that person, right? So we look at stars, we look at models, we look at athletes, and we're like, I want to look like Serena. Serena's been training since she was 10 years old. Since she was 10 years old, she's been training to have the body has. Serena didn't drink TLC NutriBurst and get the body. When she's training and when you see her in that black jumper, you know how many hours a day she trained to get that body? 6 hours a day and we want someone else's body type. We don't even know our own body type, meaning we don't know if we're endomorph, ectomorph, or mesomorph. That is, you either are easy to gain, easy to lose, or highly muscular. We fall into one of those categories. We see Naomi Campbell, we're like, ooh, I want that. Girl, you're never gonna have that if you're an endomorph.
and
That's
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 hard
not
to
gonna
hear, y'all. But it's the truth.
well,
I'm an endomorph. I gain fat easily,
yes,
and I know there are people who, gain muscle, and there are people who can just maintain. Like
right,
they will just be the same size for 20 years, and
right.
they're not really doing anything one way or the other. But yeah, it's so true. And P.S. Serena is eating. She eats good. I do know that
Oh,
about her.
this is the thing.
And
Athletes are
I
eating
didn't.
thousands of calories a day. An athlete, and again, if you want to know what you need, please DM me. If you want to know exactly what you need, find out what your BMR is, not your BMI, your
Okay, what's
BMR.
BMI?
So your basal metabolic rate is what we're sitting here talking right now. We're burning calories. When you're
Okay.
sleeping, you're burning calories. There's never a time where your metabolism turns off. If your metabolism turned off, you would die.
Mm.
If your metabolism turns off, that means your body's not renewing cells, regenerating cells. That means that your heart stops beating. That means you die. So there is no high, low. Metabolism it's always going. Your BMR is the amount of calories that you're burning on a base level roughly throughout the day. So
Okay.
it's based on your age, it's based on your weight, it's based on your activity level. Serena Williams or any athlete, they're burning more calories per day than the average person because they have more muscle on their body, which means they need more food, which is information, not fuel. We'll talk about that. But they need more calories coming in per day just to sustain their activity and their muscle. If you don't know what your body type is or what your BMR is, and you're just following the cabbage soup diet and the juice cleanse and the 1,200
Mm.
calorie, the 3-day military, trust me, I've done them all. I've read all about all of them. If you're just doing the crash diet and drinking the tea and doing the, whatever it is, Herbalife, Advocare, TLC, Isogenics, Slim Fast, ain't one of them I know about. Trust me. Do they work? Sure. Any one of them will work, Are they enjoyable? Are they sustainable? Probably not. Right? So we want a quick fix. That's why we do those. And marketing companies know, what is it? $1.99, I can look like that? Okay, cool. Send it to me. 3 weeks later, you're like, I really want some cheesecake. But cheesecake ain't on that TLC diet. Cheesecake is on my nutrition plan. I'm going to teach you how to fit it into your day realistically so you can have it. And we have to build up to you learning how to trust yourself to be able to do that. But I don't do quick fixes. I only teach. Think of it as a semester, a semester to get to know yourself and understand how food works. So you will never have to diet again.
And there could be some freedom there. Now, I realize that we have to dial back because we kind of got into some lingo that that are, that we know about because of the types of things we study. But Working Moms Coach, thank you for bringing this up. That was an oversight on my part. We do need to talk about, well, what does that mean when you said that? So could you just quickly talk about endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph, and then just give like a basic what those mean?
Sure. So there's 3 categories. We call them somatotypes, and that's basically which way your body uses calories and what the shape of your body looks like. Realistically, most of us are a combination of them. It's very rare that you find someone that's 100% one, 100% the other. So for instance, I'm 60% mesomorph, 30-ish, somewhere around like 66, 33, 66% mesomorph, 33% endomorph. So there's endomorph, which most of the Black women that I work with have a higher percentage of endomorph. The endomorph body type, if you see it on a chart, it's the heavier person, the curvier person, big boned, even though there's no such thing as, our bones are roughly all the same size, but the big boned person, the person who, if you are not mindful of your nutrition, you gain weight really quickly, and you struggle to lose. Okay, then you go up to the mesomorph. The mesomorph person is that person, if you think back, sister, where they work out for a week and they have muscles. Like they went from being,
how you have biceps? We're just picking up the gallon of water.
Yes, that's my sister. She does a week of abs, and by Friday she has a little line down the center. They are very easy to build lean muscle. And this is the person where if they train, they can put muscle on really fast. But if they don't train, they can put fat on really fast as well. So they can lose really easily, but they can also gain easily, versus the endomorph who struggles to lose and gains really easily. And then the last one you have is ectomorph. Ectomorph is the person who's naturally thin. So again, that girlfriend or, that cousin, whoever that people used to call the bean pole, you're so skinny, they struggle to gain weight. They don't struggle to lose. They're naturally thin and they have a hard time putting on muscle. They have a hard time putting on fat. So when you see the supermodels walking down the runway, those people more often than not did not try to lose weight. They were naturally thin. That's those body types. So those 3, you fall into one or a combination of those. Once you know those, you can start to adjust your macros. So for instance, the ectomorph body type, they do amazing with carbs. They actually would flourish in a high carb diet, especially if they were trying to put on weight or put on muscle, right? So you're naturally thin and you're like, I want a big butt, I want some curves, I want to build muscle. You are going to have to go heavy carbohydrates and not a lot of fat. At the opposite end of the spectrum, and this is where all the myths come in health, where our doctors are telling us, well, you just need to diet. They're telling Black women, you need to cut out fat. It's making this, you're causing high blood pressure. You're causing this. You need to cut fat out. It's a lie. If you're an endomorph, you flourish in a high fat diet. You need to decrease your intake and actually increase your fat intake. Our body does amazing with fat. We process fat very well. And then the person in the
Okay.
middle, who's the athlete, the mesomorph, the muscular person, they are on almost an equal balance, equal carbs, equal protein, equal fat. So just knowing that
Mhm.
about yourself will let you know, should I do keto? Well, not if you're naturally thin, or you were naturally thin in high school, you had kids, and you age and your body change. You're still an ectomorph body type, even if you gained weight after menopause, kids, just over time. That doesn't mean that your body type changed. You're still that body type, and this is the kind of diet that'll be best for you. So there's quizzes online you can take. If you go to bodybuilding.com, they have a free body type quiz. If you just put Google body type quiz, find that out and start with that. That already will give you, that's a, free nutrition plan you can follow. Just finding out
Mhm.
how much you should have, and not just jumping into keto or paleo or
Oh
automatically
my God, I wish
vegan.
I had
Yeah.
you. I wish I had you in summer 2014. Um, yeah, she has superior knowledge. That's what Chrissy just said. Someone said you just dispel those health myths. So, a question here for you is, but how do you know for sure? Because you were really precise when you talked about your own. Like, I
Right.
know that primarily just from reading Body Confidence. Okay, I know I
Uh-huh.
must, for the most part, am an endomorph, but you were
Right.
like, I'm 60% this and I'm 30% that. So,
Right.
like, her question is, how can I, like, really know for sure? Is this something, a test other than, like, online? Like, how do you know so accurately what your body type is? How can we get
So
that?
I have a quiz that I give people, and it's just like based on percentages. There's 10 questions. I answered 6 this way, and 3 this way, or 4 this way, and 5 this way. I do percentage that way. But if you want to do a free quiz that gives you a printout, you can go to bodybuilding.com body type quiz. If you just Google body type quiz, there's hundreds that are out there, and they're all pretty much following the same questions. They ask you things like this: does your doctor tell you you need to lose weight? Can you wrap your thumb and your middle finger around your wrist? Do they touch? Do they overlap? Do they not touch at all? They ask you, are you
Oh,
hungry all the time? Are you hungry often? So see, that's it. When people say big boned, now listen, if I stand up, or if you saw my body type, I have bigger hips, but my thumb and middle finger overlap. I have a small frame. My frame is small, but my
okay.
body still carries fat easily. It'll ask you, what else did they ask you? Were you heavier as a child? It's asking you things to see what your shape looks like, and based on
Hmm.
where you carry weight. So there's other things that have like the pear shape, the apple shape. They use fruit kind of to determine, do you carry weight more in your chest? Do you carry it more in your hips? Are you straight and you have it more like in your trunk? All of those things determine what your body type is. So I would suggest go to bodybuilding.com. Body type quiz. That's the best one. I like that one because it gives you a visual, and that one is going to tell you 60%, 50%. It'll break the percentages down for you as well.
This is so helpful. This is why I love Wise Well Women, period. And then doing the Wise Well Women live because I learned so much. Like, because I had questions, because there's so many eating strategies. You mentioned
Oh yeah.
keto, paleo, veganism, vegetarianism, pescatarianism, all this stuff. And what do we
Right.
do? Try them all out.
Yeah.
And so now I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute. When I consider my body type, when I consider this, and that, maybe I never needed to have to fool with that. Maybe what I needed to do because of my body type is be just looking at the high fat strategies based on what
Mm-hmm.
you said. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And those who are ectomorphs, one of my closest and dearest friends are here. Several of them are. But she was talking about her daughter. She wondered, as you were talking, which one her daughter is. And I know she has mentioned before, it's hard for her daughter to gain weight. But now she
Mm-hmm.
can go back and say to her daughter, I know what we can do. We need to
Yeah.
increase your carbs.
Yeah.
Um, on your, and we're, if you have other questions, please put them in here and we will ask that. And we're going to be wrapping up in about 10 minutes here. But I wanted to ask you about something. This is a little more personal. So I saw on your bio, it says Big Book Believer, and it has
Yes.
1119. So I assume, and I'm guessing that you are a woman of faith as well. And I'm curious to how do you incorporate like your beliefs, your values into what you do? Because y'all know there are certain peoples who, um, let's just talk religion, not even talking about
No.
believing in faith, because I think those are two separate things personally.
Right.
But there are people who practice certain religions, and the way that they eat is very much a part of their religion. They do or
Yes.
don't eat certain things because of their religion. But
Right.
we're not talking about religion right now. I just
Right.
want to
Right.
talk about faith.
Yeah.
So, how do you incorporate your faith in this process as well, aside from, the actual eating stuff?
Right. So the big book, the reason it's blue, that big book is actually a recovery book. So that's my sobriety
Okay.
date. So
Oh,
that
wow.
ties in extremely. So one of the reasons, and I share this in Sober Black Girls Club, one of the things that changed my approach was my decision to stop drinking. And
Mm.
being able to help other women that are recovering to understand all the cravings that might come, why it's so important to use food as your medicine. When it comes to faith, one of the things that used to drive me crazy growing up in the Baptist church was seeing so many women and men that are standing behind the pulpit telling us what we should
Oh,
do with our lives, how we should act, and what we need to be, but struggling with their health. So it's telling me I need to do this, and that, but you're on the path to a heart attack. So I feel like it's important to honor your faith and honor your religion and things that you're supposed to eat or not eat and things like that. But you also need to focus on what's actually healthy. So if your faith or your religion is telling you, um, never eat meat or never do this or never do that, you need to question, is this actually the healthiest thing for me in the long run? So I was raised Baptist, raised in the church, you know, and still I'm very much a spiritual person. But that particular big, they call it the big book, it's blue, is the book for recovery. So I have several outlets with that when it comes to specifically Black women, because we have a harder life. That is just the reality. Being a woman and being a Black woman and wanting to become healthier, if it's you're overusing a substance, if you're drinking too much, whatever it is, if you're smoking too much weed, we walk into those spaces and we don't see people who look like us. And
sure.
so for the person who's in that, in the world, they'll see that and they're like, okay, she's one of us. She knows this like struggle. And there's a huge spirituality that's necessary to be able to become healthier. It goes back to the
Yeah.
whole trust part. If you don't know how to tune in to your intuition, you're going to have a hard time sticking to any kind of routine, because your head is going to be telling you one thing and you're going to keep quieting your gut. You're going to keep quieting your intuition. And so I think it's very important that you follow a spiritual practice and stay faithful, but you need to start being committed to you and your higher power if you plan on sticking to any nutrition, fitness, educational goal, any of those things. I think you have to have a strong spiritual relationship. It's otherwise you're just kind of you're all over.
Hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I truly believe that wellness is a spiritual endeavor. It's
Oh yeah.
like an inside out transformation. And congratulations to you on your sobriety then. That means that you are at like
Over
about
a
18
year and a
months
half.
right
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
So let's give it up for her. Let's give her some hearts for that. That is huge. And I salute the work that you're doing there.
Thank
CMF
you.
Wellness says Thanks for sharing your talent, your passion, and your life perspective.
Thank you.
Kiola,
Thank
I
you.
am grateful to you. This has been so good. I learned so much. I gotta go back and listen to this again. I do that with them, but there are certain ones where I am personally impacted, and this is certainly one of them. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And
I want
y'all,
to come back again
that
after you do the week.
oh, please do. And so, guys, look at this at Kiola Raines. That's how you find her. That's where you can go to see about doing work with her. She did reference bodybuilding.com for the assessment, but she
Yeah.
also has her own assessment too. So let's support her,
Yeah.
okay?
DM
Because
me.
yeah, DM her, okay? We're going to you. We are, like you said, we support Black businesses, not just right now while it's trending, but we go keep, before then and after. So I don't believe that is bodybuilding.com. So we're going to come to you and do your assessment and all that. So thank you for everything that you shared tonight.
Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, shoot me a DM. There's a link in my bio that can get you your macros for free. That's always the first step I say. If you're interested in coaching, I'm giving free coaching for June. You have 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. So this is June is blackout June. Besides giving information for other Black businesses, that is my contribution to the community. So if you are interested in getting your free session, again, shoot me a DM. I'll tell you the first step, which is click that link in my bio. And I'm doing 30-minute sessions. We're doing 3 sessions, so we'll get those 3 sessions in before June is over. I love what I do, if you can't tell. So take advantage of the
I'm
free
doing it.
coaching. It's a very, very valuable gift that I'm giving out.
Yes, it is. So y'all heard that. Please go over there tonight. Get the coaching, Working Moms Coach. Share that with your daughter as well. Share this with your friends. I will
Yes,
take this snippet out and put it in my stories as well, so we can,
perfect.
keep sharing with that. Yeah, part of the wellness revolution. Yes, she is.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Well, y'all have a good night. We will be back
Thank you.
tomorrow. So thank you, Keela. I'm actually going to let you go, and then I'm going to tell
Okay.
everybody what tomorrow night is about.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you
Cool.
so much, ladies. Don't forget, shoot me a DM. I'll take care of you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Appreciate you. So, y'all, keep streaming up those hearts. Oh my goodness. A friend of mine said to me this week when I was, having like a moment, sometimes when I'm wondering, like, Lord, is this sometimes can I just be honest? Well, I'm gonna be honest anyway. Sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know sometimes if I should be doing what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm like, I don't have it all together. Why should I be out here sharing with people? But those are exactly the type of people that I want to hear from because I can relate to them. So I appreciate you being here because you trust that when you come to this page, when you come on these lives, you're going to hear from myself along with someone else who's going to add to you, who's going to edify you, who's going to minister grace to you, who's going to give you some knowledge that you can use like right away. And so my friend said to me was, I love when I'm on there and I see the wows, and those are those wow moments. There were so many wow moments. What you guys can't see, oh shoot, I just disconnected my light. But what you can't see is in front of me, I always have my laptop. I'm learning. I am taking notes. Those things that she was talking about, I knew some basics. I knew some of those basics about the types, but I did not know that there are certain ways to eat based on what your type is, ways that would be more beneficial to you. So to have that health and fitness vitamin supplement portion that we had last night, and then to now be able to look at this part and it's like, hey, you don't have to do a certain type of diet or certain type of anything, but these are things that you should be considering. I'm telling you, I am learning so much, and I hope that you got something out of tonight too. Now, we're switching gears tomorrow night, so be here for tomorrow night too. Tomorrow night, we're going to be talking with, and I got 30 seconds to tell you this, Fit with Kina. And she has had a major transformation going from obesity down to bikini model size. And we're going to be talking about dating before and after weight loss. So that's tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central. I will see you then. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for these blessings that you're giving me.